Hi there, welcome to Dostcast Clips. I know you don't want to watch podcasts, so here's some clips for you. Enjoy till the end and don't forget to subscribe. What I found fascinating in your reference to Kavi Sammelans is कि पहले politicians could sit in the Kavi Sammelans and also be made fun of because it was good for their brand to be associated with a firebrand poet, right? And they would take their jokes. You said increasingly as politicians became more and more sensitive, the Kavi Sammelans could not be as, let's just say, edgy in their material, and they would have to tone it down. And eventually, फिर वही होता है कि it's the patron and the artist. You're making a portrait of the king as opposed to a caricature of the king, right? Which is, I guess, the role of an artist, or even the role of a gesture. So, what have you noticed about the Kavi Sammelan ecosystem as a consequence of reading or researching your book?
I think it's interesting you say that it's a dying phenomena because, I mean, people who live in say urban cities like you, like I think we should be forgiven to think that ये नहीं हो रहा है. मतलब, it's not a popular form of entertainment at all. But I was surprised as you would be when you actually go down that space and see what is happening. I mean, see the number of Kavi Sammelans that are still happening. See the number of people who come to see some of these sammelans, right? And if you see the online consumption of Kavi Sammelans, you will be surprised at the number of people who are watching it and actively liking it. So that space is still remaining. It's not going down without a fight. That space is possibly growing as well because of social media. Because पहले क्या होता था, if you go to a Kavi Sammelan, you're able to talk to say anywhere between a few hundreds to a few thousands, right? Now the same Kavi Sammelan is now being put on YouTube and getting 5 million views. So the reach has actually dramatically increased. Maybe what we're not seeing is the number of Kavi Sammelans around us in urban spaces.
Yeah.
Right?
Delhi just has one, Jashn-e-Rekhta, that
Yes,
happens. Yeah.
yes. And then there are a bunch of, like in Delhi, the Delhi government sponsors one, which happens at the Red Fort, which is one of the most...
What is it called?
One of the most prominent Kavi Sammelans. I don't remember what it's called. But
Jashn-e-Rekhta hi to
No,
shayad nahi.
Jashn-e-Rekhta nahi. This is the official... Jashn-e-Rekhta is a private enterprise. But ये government का होता है. And it's the biggest honor for a poet in India because आप Red Fort पे perform करते हो.
Crazy.
Right? So कवियों की दुनिया में कहते हैं कि एक प्रधानमंत्री होता है जो रेड फोर्ट से भाषण दे सकता है और दूसरा होता है कवि जो रेड फोर्ट पे जाके वो कविता सुना सकता है. So that is still happening. Right? We're not seeing as many in the urban spaces, but in the rural, in the semi-rural, in the semi-urban, Kavi Sammelans are still a decently popular form of entertainment where a lot of the organizers still want to have a Kavi Sammelan to finish off a longer event. जैसे मैं जाता था 8-10 दिन का कोई अगर आपका फेस्टिवल हो या कोई इवेंट हो, कोई दशहरा भी हो गया, नवरात्रि भी हो गई, कभी कभी कोई और कल्चरल इवेंट होता है. So the finale is the Kavi Sammelan, right? Because then you're able to call Kavis from different parts of the country and then have them perform in front of the crowd. तो वो अभी भी है. What you're saying is very relevant, and Kumar Vishwas says this. उन्होंने एक story बोली थी कि Jawaharlal Nehru was in the audience, and then there was a shire, and I forget the name of the shire. तो उनको perform वहाँ करना था, लेकिन उन्होंने कहा नेहरू साहब सुन नहीं पाएंगे मेरी बात. And Indira Gandhi goes and convinces him कि you say what you want to say, and Nehru will be able to bear it. Right? And then he goes and performs and he makes some very stinging remarks against Nehru. And Nehru is sitting in the audience smiling. So this is a story that Kumar Vishwas often narrates to talk about how large-hearted Nehru was as a leader as against what we see now, where criticism तो छोड़ो, आप एक interview भी unscripted नहीं कर पाते हो. तो वो ज़माना था जब politicians were able to patronize these arts at their own expense. Right? कि चलो ठीक है मैं आपको I will support you even if you have to make fun of me, I will be there. But I think the intolerance within the political class for criticism, be it in the way that they've shut down the media, right? And by shut down I mean by shut down by sort of not allowing them to investigate, not allowing them to question you. जैसे परसों की एक वीडियो वायरल हुई when all of these MPs were suspended. And I think ENI or someone asked Hema Malini कि क्यों सस्पेंड हुए, तो she said वो बहुत सवाल पूछ रहे थे तो फिर सस्पेंड करना पड़ा उनको. So that is the essence, right? If you ask too many questions or if you make scathing criticism, then that is not tolerated anymore. तो कवि सम्मेलन भी अनफॉर्चुनेटली ये हुआ है, वेयर typically what used to happen is a kavi sammelan would always have different genres. So there will be the veer ras, so there will be poems of bravery, nationalism, patriotism, etc. But there will be also the shringar, which is the more romantic stuff, and there will be hasya, which is the more comical, right? तो वो एक पूरा पैकेज होता था, आपको एक शाम में आपको अलग अलग इमोशन आपको मिल जाते थे थ्रू डिफरेंट पोएट्स. Typically the hasya would have to revolve around the chief patron who's sitting right there. मतलब उन पे 2-3 जोक तो बनते ही थे कि आप आए हैं, आप उनके बारे में जोक करेंगे, या फिर अगर समझ लो एसपी ने स्पॉन्सर किया तो एसपी के बारे में, पुलिस के बारे में करेंगे. बट दैट अनफॉर्चुनेटली दैट कल्चर हैज़ गॉन अवे वेयर वी आर एबल टू लाफ एट अथॉरिटी और वेयर द अथॉरिटी इज एबल टू लाफ एट देमसेल्व्स. As a result of which, politicians have found it increasingly difficult to support such कवि सम्मेलन because they are saying यार इनको मैं बुला तो लूँगा, आके मेरे पे ही जोक मार देंगे तो मेरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी क्या कहेगी. आई एम नॉट द बाहुबली. फिर उनको लगेगा अरे ये तो स्ट्रॉन्ग मैन है और उन पे जोक मार रहे हैं. सो आई थिंक दैट होल रोमांटिसाइजेशन ऑफ द स्ट्रॉन्ग मैन जो आज हमारे पॉलिटिकल कल्चर में बहुत डोमिनेंट है, कि कोई भी अगर पॉलिटिकल लीडर हो तो वो स्ट्रॉन्ग मैन होना चाहिए. वो स्ट्रॉन्ग मैन का प्रॉब्लम ये है साहब कि फिर वो आप हंस नहीं सकते आप. He will also not laugh at himself and you will also not be able to laugh at him. अगर आप करोगे तो आप पे शायद UAPA, सेडिशन या कुछ और लग जाए.
If you like this clip, I bet you will love the full podcast. Check it out on the Dostcast YouTube channel.